Good evening, tubers. Madam Roy back once again. See, I got the two candles burning in the background there. This room smells very nice right now. Also, it's a very calming smell. I see we have some comments here already, but I did want to say that I am going to keep this to the subject at hand. That's it. No tech tonight. This is all about the lifestyle change and hopefully helping you guys out there achieve the same level of success that I have over this last year, well, almost year and a half now. I want to get started by saying that what I've been through has definitely changed me, not just physically, but mentally. A lot of people don't realize that overeating is a disease, almost an addiction. Just as somebody who is a chain smoker has to smoke pack after pack after pack of cigarettes a day, or somebody who's an alcoholic has to have that last sip. They're like, oh no, just one more drink. I need one more drink to get me through the day. It's the same thing with eating. It's just a drug. It's something we use to cope with stress, cope with things we don't want to deal with. In our case, it's usually feelings. And I was no exception. My drug of choice was food. And to a point, it still kind of is. But I've learned to control the urge. Now, are there times that I want to overeat? Do I want to go out to McDonald's and get that quarter pounder with cheese? Because I don't like the Big Mac, but I'm not going to go ahead and ramble on about that. Or do I want to go to Sonic and get their double cheeseburger or their extra long chili cheese coney and have the big extra large chili cheese fries? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I've been fighting that urge for the last week. But what keeps me going is thinking about where I've been and how far I've come. It's like you're sober. Say you're sober for a year. I'm just going to use myself as an example. I have pretty much licked the overeating this past year, and I don't want to go back and lose ground that I've already made. Now, when I get to what I actually weigh right now, you'll probably be surprised. Honestly, I never thought I would get to this point. I started this whole journey and I was about every bit of 350 pounds. And that was a year and about 3 months ago. Now, was I heavier before? Yes. There was a time in my life that I was over 400 pounds. As a matter of fact, my heaviest was about 412 pounds. But that wasn't for very long. That was for maybe a couple of months at most. But generally, my weight will fluctuate anywhere between 350 to 380. So right now, my last weigh-in, I am at 235 pounds. As you're probably saying, Matt, that's what you were a month ago. Yes, I know. I've kind of plateaued, and that's due to a few different things. It's been the holidays. You don't never eat great around the holidays. Honestly, I'm just happy that I haven't I haven't gained any weight. So I look at it that way. I am down 115 pounds from where I was for most of my life, honestly. But I'm going to get back to how I've actually done this. And a lot of you may have heard this, but it does bear reiterating. A lot of it has to do with willpower and the intermittent fasting. Now, the intermittent fasting, quite a few of you have asked me about that and asked me, how do I do it? Well, intermittent fasting is basically not eating for a certain period of time each day. Most people do it the way I do it. I eat my first meal around 9 in the morning, which is breakfast. Then I have lunch right at noon. Then I have dinner around 3 or 4 at night. It fluctuates. And then I don't eat anything from 4 p.m. until the next morning around 9. So let's see, that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 hours. Some people do 18 hours. I usually do 17 hours. Basically what that does, that gives your body time to process, metabolize all the food that you took in that previous day. On top of that, I'm also making much better food choices. Now, can you go out and have the occasional double cheeseburger or go out and have your occasional extra large chili cheese fry? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, you need to be able to treat yourself. If you don't treat yourself, you're going to fail. But you need to restrict that to 1, maybe 2 days per week. The rest of the time, you need to be eating healthier. Every morning for breakfast, except for Saturday mornings, I have a bowl of oatmeal, usually steel cup, but it really doesn't matter. You can have any type of oatmeal is pretty much good for you. And I choose to get the plain oatmeal, and I put some real maple syrup on it. Now we're talking 100% pure maple syrup, not the sugar-filled high fructose corn syrup, fake syrup that you usually get in the grocery stores. You need to find the jug. It looks like it's round. It looks like a mini water bottle, like an old school moonshine jug, if you will. And it'll actually say 100% pure maple syrup if you want to do what I'm doing. There are other good options as well. Staying away from the carbs is important when you first start your weight loss journey. You may not even want to do oatmeal. Maybe you want to do something like a breakfast bowl. Jimmy Dean has these breakfast bowls that include egg, turkey sausage, and a little cheese, and that's a great option. True, it is higher in fat than a lot of other breakfasts, but there are very few carbs in that, and that is really important to fast start your metabolism. When you first start your lifestyle change, chances are your metabolism is going to be very slow. That's probably why you're overweight and you need to lose weight. So it's a great option to start low carb, and then as you increase your metabolism after a few months, then maybe you can add some more carbs into the mix. Now for lunch, I'll usually have whatever I want. Usually it's a sandwich and some soup, chicken salad, maybe a ham sandwich, though I try to get the leaner cuts of ham. In our area, it's called off the bone ham. You want to stay away from the cheaper stuff like the cooked ham or even the Virginia ham. I know, right? Matt lives in Virginia and he's talking smack about Virginia ham. Well, that's because not only does it have a lot of salt, it also has a lot of fat because they don't use the leaner cuts of the pig. So be really careful about that. And then for dinner, pretty much have what you want. Try to stay away from a lot of the fried foods. If you have to have fried foods, maybe limit it to once or twice a week. Instead of having fried chicken, do baked chicken. I have a great recipe, and I've showed this on my channel before, where we marinate chicken breasts in Italian dressing and basically cook them up on the grill, and we pair that with maybe some Knorr's rice sides, Knorr's pasta sides, or maybe like a Mahatma saffron rice and some zucchini or summer squash, and that's a great option. That's a healthy meal that's not going to pack the pounds on it. So I think I've rambled on enough. Let me see what we have. Quite a few comments here. Yes, John Doe, I've seen your comment several times about 7 straight live streams. I don't know about this week, but that will be coming in the future. So somebody said something about Wawa tea. I386 said, Wawa tea question. Tea is okay, but you want to get the sugar-free tea, so the unsweetened tea. Anything with sugar in there, you're going to drink too much of it, and sugar is calories, and calories are going to pack the pounds on. So tea is okay, just the unsweetened tea. And if you really need to have sweetness in it, bring yourself some Splenda packets or bring some stevia packets and put them in there. And just, put it in, put 2 or 3 packets in, stir it up. It'd be a great drink to have. Hired Gun says, my granddaughter that's due in May is keeping me straight and narrow, giving up red meat. That's good. That's excellent. Eating a lot more salads, eating a ton less, and dropped 8 pounds since January 1st. Wow. Awesome. Congratulations, Hired Gun. I know I've said in the past I've given up red meat. Not totally. I found that my body did crave it, but what I do in my case is I limit that to once or twice a week, and usually it's something very small, like maybe I'll have meatloaf once a week, and then maybe I'll have some vegetable beef soup. One of my favorite soups at Nick's. I know you guys have heard me talk about this restaurant a lot, and still one of my favorites, local restaurants. And he makes the best vegetable beef soup. But I've given it up a little bit, let's say. I mainly stick to chicken, some pork, but also a lot of vegetables. And another great thing to have for lunch, I've found, is peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Now, you have to be careful with that, too. You want to get the natural peanut butter because regular peanut butter like Jif or Skippy has usually high fructose corn syrup and a lot of saturated fats, but you can get a lot of off-brands. Walmart has one that's natural peanut butter. And yes, you will have to stir it. There's an easy way to do it, though, because the oil kind of goes to the top on those. You do have to stir it, but once you spend the time to stir it together, I put it in the refrigerator for about a half an hour and then stir it one more time, and then I just keep it in the cabinet, and it usually won't separate again. So that'll make it a little bit easier for the next time you use it. And you also have to be a little careful about the jelly or jam you use. I buy the Fair Trade, I think it's called, raspberry preserves at Dollar Tree. I'll look it up later and tell you. I don't remember the exact name of it, but it's raspberry preserves. They're actually imported. You get them for $1. They come in a pretty big jar. Actually, I'd say it's got to be at least 5 or 6 ounces. And you got to look at the ingredients. You got to make sure they don't have any high fructose corn syrup or any xanthan gum. And I don't believe this has either of those. You want to make sure that it has just regular cane sugar, or, plain sugar is okay, but cane sugar would be better. So that's just another option for you. Eric Brunhammer said, I had a coworker trying to be smart, trying to rub in my face that she was drinking a Wawa tea every day. She was shocked when I wasn't interested. Oh, there are people out there that will definitely try and sabotage your diet lifestyle change. And that's because they're jealous. I mean, they see what you have. They see how well you're doing, and maybe they don't have the nerve to try it. Don't let it bother you. You know what? There are so many trolls out there right now. If you guys have watched my last few videos, I've had a lot of trolls, especially on the vlogs. I don't let it bother me, because at the end of the day, I know you guys, my audience, enjoys the content, and that's all that matters. And I enjoy making it, so don't let them bother you that much. Classic Mobile Home says V8 juice. Even with V8 juice, you have to be careful, and mainly that's if you have high blood pressure, because V8 juice, believe it or not, has a lot of salt. Now, you can get the low salt version, but just in moderation. Anything that's processed like that, you want to eat or drink in moderation, because a lot of that stuff still has the word processed, preservatives in it, and that stuff just isn't that great for your body. You're better off making things from scratch. Like tomorrow, I'm going to go and make myself some of the 15 bean soup that I absolutely love during pretty much any time of the year, but especially during the winter. It's such an easy recipe. You guys can actually see the video I did on that. It's just the 15 beans. I soak my own beans. It's mirepoix, so celery, carrots, onions, tomato paste, diced tomatoes, Lipton onion soup mix, and that's about it. And then just some Italian seasoning and some spike seasoning. And of course, I do put pepper in there and some some hot sauce of my choice. But you can leave that out. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But the whole point of it is it's a lightly processed meal, pretty much all fresh. And that your body will thank you for that in the long run. Eric Brunhammer says, it's weird, or maybe it isn't weird, since giving up the tea, I am not able to handle the portions that I used to. Maybe because of the sugar. You got to remember, sugar actually increases your appetite. So the fact that you're not drinking all that tea and ingesting all that sugar means that your body isn't craving as much food in general. And that actually happened to me too. When I started this lifestyle change, the first thing I noticed, giving up a lot of the sweets, I just wasn't hungry. That's another bonus right there. I386 says, maybe I can just back off the sugar on the tea. A lot of people may have to do that. Here's an idea. If you have to have a little bit of sugar in your tea, buy 2 jugs. One with sugar, one without, or one sweetened, one unsweetened. Take it home, get a bigger jug, and mix them together. In other words, cut the sweet tea with the unsweet tea slowly. Maybe do like an 80-20 split to start with. And then when you can handle that, go down to the 60-40 and then the 40-60. In other words, keep cutting it down until the point that maybe you won't need to have the sugar at all. That's what I would do. It's slow and steady wins the race. This is not the Indy 500. This is something that you want to do for your life. This is not one of those fad diets that you're going to do for a month, lose a whole bunch of weight, then get off it, go back to the way you're eating, and you're just going to gain that weight and then even more. You need to do a full lifestyle change, and that's what I've done. You guys saw that thumbnail. I mean, it amazes me how much weight I've lost over the year, just over a year, a year and 3 months. And I am doing this for my benefit, honestly, partly because I enjoy it. And I enjoy giving the information, showing people how much I've lost. There's a little bit of pride involved there, but that's not the whole picture. The bigger picture is I want to help everybody out there on YouTube who may be struggling with weight like I did get to a point where they're happy with themselves. And yes, there are people out there like My Big Fat Fabulous Life and a few other shows that say, oh no, you're fat, embrace it, be happy with all your curves and all your fat folds. I don't buy into that, because if you can get healthy, then why not? Being morbidly obese or obese is not healthy. It just isn't. And I was in denial for so many years. You can ask my parents. There were so many years I said to myself, you know what? I can't do anything about it. I'm too far gone. I might as well just sit on my bed, twiddle my fidget spinner, and play video games, because it's going to get to the point where I'm at the point where I just can't do anything about it anymore. And boy, was I wrong. I mean, there was just that light bulb that shut in my head. Boom. It's like, Matt, you can do something about it. It's never too late. And it is never too late for you guys either to get started. That's exactly right, I386. Just what I said before. The sugar is probably what's making you hungry. And you got to give it up slowly. Take a little bit of sugar out of your diet each day or each week. Start by removing the sugar from your tea, maybe having one less Twinkie or one less Ho-Ho, whatever your sugar fix is. As you lessen your sugar intake, your appetite is also going to go down. I can almost guarantee it. Thank you very much, Hired Gun. It is definitely paying off, and it'll pay off for you guys, too, in the long run. I386 says, that sounds good, mixing the sweet and unsweet, but I make my own. That's great. That's actually even better. In your case, then all you'll have to do is just keep putting a little less sugar in that batch. And, man, I cannot believe how much sugar is in sweet tea. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I've said this before, but a lot of you guys may not have heard it. When I used to work at Sonic, we used to have to brew our own tea. And we would brew, you've probably seen it before in restaurants, those big metal jugs of tea, maybe 5. I guess it's probably about a gallon in there, maybe a little bit more. Do you know that for each batch of tea, we put a 5-pound bag of sugar in the sweet tea? I am not kidding. This is a true story. It used to make me vomit. As a matter of fact, there were times that it made me sick to my stomach to the point where I only put half a bag in. But when I did that, I used to get written up by my boss. Anyway, it's just so much sugar in our diets. We get enough sugar from all the processed foods that we eat on a daily basis. We don't need to be adding extra sugar into our diets. Yes, I 386 is talking about the unboxing video I did of the Dell. Yes, no, you don't offend me there. I was really big there. That was 2014, I think. And that was probably when I was 350, 360. So that was when I was about 120 pounds more than I am right now. And the first place I saw it was in my face. If you remember in those videos, my face actually came out to here. It was only when I started losing weight I realized, man, I got some big ears because before it was all hidden by the fat in my face. Hired Gun says it has been a journey that started with quitting smoking 3 years ago. Now it's on to getting fit and back in shape. Yeah. So many people I know quit smoking. And a lot of times after you quit smoking, you tend to gain weight because you go from one vice to another. So there's definitely a sweet spot there when it comes to figuring out what you need to do. And I remember when I first started losing the weight, one thing that I did, I would go through a pack of those excitements. I'm trying to think what they call them, icebreakers a day because I needed something to pop in my mouth. I had that same oral fixation that smokers have. And I just needed something to have to do. And slowly by surely, I weaned myself off of that. Now I may have 3 or 4 of those a day. As a matter of fact, I'll probably have 1 or 2 once I finish this live stream. Before anybody asks, yes, I got the jug of water right here. Yeah, exactly. Hired Gun. That's why you got to pace everything because if you try to do too much too quickly, you're definitely going to fail. 14 watchers. I was actually hoping we get a few more people here, but that's okay. I'm sure a lot of you guys will probably see it in post-production. Excuse me. My allergies have actually been doing a little bit better, but this time of year, they really tend to act up. Eric Brunhammer said, like I said, I can't believe that I was drinking 7.2 pounds of sugar a week. That's 374.4 pounds per year. I'd like to see that piled up on a table. If you piled that up on my fold-out table back there, you would probably crush it. It's just amazing. And that's, again, on top of the sugar that you get every day by eating just the normal foods. I mean, look, believe it or not, look at oatmeal. Instant oatmeal has tons of sugar in it. Even things like processed meats like bologna, ham, turkey, that stuff even has sugar in it. So that's why you got to be so careful with the added sugars that you put into your diet. I-386. I'll answer that. I'll answer that one question, but this is only going to be about diet and lifestyle change. He goes, I'm about to reinstall my desktop. I made a boo-boo. I cloned my drive to another, but it failed. But I do have a backup. That's good. That's really good. I've had clone drives fail too. I've used a Cronus disk imager, Partition Magic, Parted Magic. Doesn't matter. Cloning drives is never 100% guaranteed. There are times that they will fail. Eric Brunhammer said, that is 7 of the 50-pound bags of sugar I used to work with at my old job. Boggles the mind. It really does. Chip Belay says, hey, Matt, just got here. Matt, you are an inspiration, and so are so many people in this chat group. It's a good point, and I really appreciate that. I want to think that what I'm doing is making a difference in quite a few lives. It's hard when you have a YouTube channel and you don't necessarily see the fruits of your labor, but I know it's there. I mean, I know that you guys, at least some of you, are taking what I'm saying to heart. And at the end of the day, that helps me sleep really good at night. I sleep like a baby, especially this time of year. Another sip of water. I will tell you one thing about this lifestyle change, at least in my experience. Constipation can be a real issue, and milk or magnesia is going to be your best friend. So when you start this, if you're just starting, have a few bottles on hand. And I'm not kidding, because when you reduce the amount of fat and you add a lot of the fiber-filled foods, believe it or not, that can bind you up. I know they say fiber generally is a what's the word? A laxative. It actually keeps you regular. Not always. So keep a few bottles of milk and magnesia on hand. It'll help you out in the long run. Robert Jones says, my lifestyle is going good, but I do have my ups and downs. We all do. There are days that I'm not as good as other days, but you got to remember tomorrow's just around the corner, as Walt Disney used to say. Or there's a great big beautiful tomorrow. That was another quote. And you can just vow to do better the next day. And prayer. For those of you out there that are Christians and that go to church, prayer is one of the most powerful tools that we have. There are times that nothing I can do physically in myself can prevent me from going downstairs and having that Twinkie or having that pudding pop. And if I know I really don't need it, I'll just sit there and pray. Hired Gun says, see, with me, it's the opposite. The veggies are like milk and magnesia to me. LOL. Yeah, some people are like that. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way for me. And I usually do get my vegetables in each day. Generally, I'll have soup, whether it be my 15 bean soup or the vegetable beef soup that my dad makes. I'll have that for lunch, and that's got tons of vegetables in it. And I'll usually have a vegetable for dinner, usually something like summer squash or Brussels sprouts. So I get my vegetables in, but you got to remember something. Everybody's digestive systems work differently. This was just a word to the wise, let's say. Classic Mobile Home. I drank V8 all day long, 7 days a week, and I lost 10 pounds. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. V8 juice can be a powerful tool as well. Vegetables are not only good for you, but they can also have that laxative effect on some people. But you do have to be careful, because if you have high blood pressure, like I do, that's the one thing that I still do have is high blood pressure. You have to watch the salt intake. So if you do want to do something like V8 juice and you have the high blood pressure, make sure you go with the low sodium version. Eric Brunhammer says, I'm down about 7 pounds. Yes, I did see that, Eric. I know I don't always comment on your videos, but I do try to watch them as much as possible. But I won't be able to weigh myself until I get around to buying more CR2032 batteries. Yes, I got that message from you earlier. You were asking me where to get really good ones. I just get mine from Dollar Tree, honestly. I buy the Sunbeam ones. Two to a pack. You can see them right there, lithium, 2 for $1. And these seem to work just fine. I use these in a lot of applications. I use these are the CMOS batteries I use in my desktop PCs. I use these in the remote key fobs for my car, and they seem to work just fine. They may not last quite as long as something like a Duracell or an Energizer, but for the price, can't go wrong. 2 for $1. They used to give you, it's funny, in Dollar Tree, this is the way it works. They used to give you 4 for $1. Then they went down to 3, and now they're down to 2 for $1. So I'm just waiting to the time where you're only going to get 1 for $1. But I hope that's not the case. I really hope that they become wise and just keep it at 2 for $1. I'm going to turn that off because for some reason that's driving this live stream crazy. My fluorescent light. Yeah, CR2032 batteries, it depends on the application. The only time you're going to get 10 years out of those is something like if using it as a CMOS battery. But if you're using it in like a scale or in your key fob, probably going to get about a year out of it at most. I mean, that's pretty much what I've noticed. All right, tubers, I'm going to end the live stream here. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I'm trying to get this information out there, mainly to the people that haven't seen it yet. One thing I did want to let you guys know, I am considering starting up a Patreon page to try to generate some more revenue to the channel. Let me know what you guys think about that. The super chats are always open. If you are so inclined to give $1 or $2, I would really appreciate it. Again, that'll all go to basically improving the channel. And I can't remember who it was last time that gave the $10. But I just want to let you know, whoever it is, that I did buy my boys some of the Greenies treats, because that's what you told me you wanted me to use it for. And believe it or not, it did cost $10. Yes, Flips, I'm sorry. I know a lot of you guys couldn't make it here. Everybody's saying take care. One more thing before we go. Classic Bowl Home says, I gave up sweets like snick cakes. I've given up for 30 days. That is awesome. I'm so glad you guys are doing well. Please continue to like and subscribe. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also click the bell icon next to it to enable notifications. That'll let you guys know when I put up new videos or live streams. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.